to order. Okay. Is there any, well, I guess we got to go, do we need to introduce, or are you going to introduce us all? How you want to do it?
So based on who we have on the call right now, we have Miss Deborah Manzo, we have Miss Karen Brill, we have Mr. Dumars, we have Sherry Brown, we have Mr. Patrick Franklin, we have Sandy Greenberg on the phone, as well as Mr. Siegel. So are there any other members that I did not mention? Looks like I captured everybody.
Okay, all right. All right, is there any public comment? I doubt that. But
there was no public comment that I received. So that per the notice, they were supposed to send either email communication, and I did not receive anything.
Okay. All right, need the minutes of November 8th, 2009, that's last year, 2019. We have a motion for approval?
Yes, this is Debbie Manzo, and I'll make a motion to approve those minutes.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Stanley Siegel, I make a second approve.
Okay, thank you. Motion for, or a vote for approval of the minutes. Say aye.
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 Aye. Okay.
Aye.
All right. Next is new business. We'll start with, what is it, the December 31st report? Go ahead.
Yes. Yep. So let me share my screen. So hopefully you're able to see the second quarterly report for the period ending December 31st. We were $1 million total for the year related to the referendum. Through December 31st, we collected a total of $175 million. Through the December 31st time period, we had total expenses of $91 million, projected to spend $211. Our teacher supplements were $12,600. That's the largest component of the referendum. The total fine arts remained consistent with the prior years. The mental health allocation remained consistent as well. And then our security allocation was projected to be $20 million as of December 31st. So the total staffing, including the referendum supplements, a total of 13,000 either staff or additional supplements were being serviced through this referendum. So are there any questions related to the December 31st report?
Okay. You want to do the March 3rd, or you want to do them individually, or you want to lump them all together, Heather?
Well, we have to do a vote on each one.
Okay, all right. Fine. Any questions? December 31st report? Okay, motion to approve.
Accept it.
And this is Debbie Manzo. I'll second.
Second by Stanley Siegel.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
All in favor? Okay. Okay, Heather, move forward.
Okay, so now I'll move forward to the March 31st, 2020 report. So this is the third quarterly report. So by the end of March, we were projected, still projected to collect $203 million. Through March 31st, we collected a total of $187 million. Our total expenses through March 31st was $154 million. And the total amount of expenses through March 31st was $154 million. We were projected to spend by the end of the year $209 million. So spending a little over $6 million more than the revenue collected. The supplements as well as the positions are consistent with the previous quarter. The number of teacher supplements went up slightly, which we expect that to happen throughout the year as the certifications come in for those newly hired teachers from outside the district. It takes time for their certifications to be validated by the school district of Palm Beach County. So with this second quarter or the third quarterly report, second report on the agenda, are there any additional questions?
No questions? Okay, then I need a motion to approve the March 30th, 2020 report.
Make a motion to approve it. Andy Greenberg.
Okay.
And Debbie
Second.
Manzo, second.
Second. All right, all in favor, signify aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Aye.
Heather, you want to go to the June 30th report next?
Yes. So the last report is June 30th, 2020. So we ended up collecting what we had anticipated, $203 million. There are two changes that I wanted to highlight on this report because it looks like the amount that we had set aside for the CAPE teams ended up being zero, as well as the co-located services were adjusted down to zero. The reason being is we had some additional money left over in the mental health categorical that we received from the state. And so once we saw that we were spending and had more than enough expenses to cover the referendum, we took those two costs, since they are allowable uses under the mental health categorical, and we moved those over and transferred those over to the mental health categorical. So we still had the CAPE team, we still had the co-located services, we just transferred those expenses over to that mental health categorical. That was a one-time transfer. I don't anticipate doing that in future years. So even with that transfer, we did spend $6 million more than the referendum. Some of our forecasts, for example, with the security allocation, ended up coming in a little bit lower because schools were closed starting March 13th. So some of those security costs that would have been incurred by the schools, didn't come to fruition. So those were really the only changes with the June 30th report. But ultimately, we were able to expend the full amount of the referendum, benefiting nearly 14,000 teachers and staff.
Okay. All right, any questions on the June 30th report?
Yes, I have a question, Debbie Manzo. I actually have two questions. Just wanted to clarify, what's the fiscal year for the school board? July 1st through June 30th?
Yes, it's July 1st through June 30th.
Okay. And did we anticipate needing $6.4 million from the general fund? So I think that the balance is being funded from the general fund. Was that anticipated, or how much was anticipated or budgeted?
Yes, actually, it was a little bit more that was anticipated because some of the costs ended up coming in a little bit lower, like I was saying with the security costs, because schools were closed effective March 13th. So we did initially expect that about $9 million would be absorbed by the general fund.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Hey, Paul, I see you there now. Okay. All right, any other questions on the June 30th report? Hearing none, I need a motion for approval.
So moved.
Motion to approve, Stanley Siegel.
Okay. All right, second, I guess, Stanley, you'll be second.
Patrick
Paul was first. Okay, thank you. All right. All in favor of the June 30th report, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, all right. Heather, back to you.
Okay, so I just wanted to mention that our next meeting is scheduled for November 5th, 2020 at 9 a.m. At this time, we are planning, unless the governor extends the ability to do virtual meetings, that will be an in-person meeting. But I'll make sure to continue to communicate with all the members so that you're aware of that. That would be our first meeting for the FY21 school year. And what I did want to mention is that we are facing some difficult economic times. We don't know what the possible state reductions are going to be in the upcoming fiscal year, but this referendum is based on property values, and we do anticipate that the property values will remain consistent with what was projected by the Properties Appraiser's Office for FY21 at least. We don't know that that will be the case in FY22, but we do expect that the referendum is going to increase to $213 million, which is approximately $10 million more than where we're at right now. And those costs will be absorbed. Part of it is the overage that we anticipated this year. We do expect some growth within the referendum, within the teacher supplements. With those teacher supplements, if all teachers stay, and we have just, the teachers that are at the 4 years moving up to the 5 years, and those are at 9 years moving up to 10 years, which is now moving up to a $10,000 supplement, we could potentially see an increase of nearly $5 million within the teacher retention supplement just by moving up by the years of experience. With the situation we're in, we're not certain whether we might see some more retirements than we've seen in the past. As of right now, HR reported that they are not seeing additional retirements, but that's something that we'll make sure to continue to monitor, because that potentially would reduce the amount we're spending on those teacher retention supplements. And so that's really all I have.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions for Heather? Okay. Okay, that's any other questions of anything, or we move for adjournment?
Make a motion to move for adjournment.
Okay. Thank you. Second? All in
Second,
favor?
Debbie.
Signify
Second,
aye.
George.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Heather.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you very much.
Right on.
Thank
Okay.
you.
All
Bye-bye.
right. All right. Bye.